Laker Nation, Lakers are one win away from an NBA Finals, fam. They win in Game 4, 114 to 108, man. Rondo, Dwight Howard, KCP, huge down the stretch to close this game for the Lakers and to get the win along with Anthony Davis in the beginning. Sizzling offensively, great response by the Lakers, man. Good win by the Lakers. If it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker content that's geared on objectivity, rationale, logic, substantive, empirical data from a student of the game's perspective, and you love talking Lakers basketball like I do, then you've arrived to the right place, Laker fam. Consider subscribing. And for those of you who already sub, switch that notification bell to get alerts when I drop videos. And lastly, fam, can you show Laker brother some love and give this video a thumbs up, as Laker Nation will be able to see this vid more on the tube. Now let's get to the full game recap and my thoughts overall on this game. So first quarter, AD back-to-back floaters over Millsap, coming in aggressive as opposed to settling for jumpers, man. Love to see that type of assertiveness from Anthony Davis. Then to force Millsap to play him defensively. He got him 2 fouls, I believe. 2 minutes or so. Or 2 minutes and a half or so into the first quarter, right into the game, and picked up foul trouble on Millsap. Amazing when you attack the rim and get close opportunities. Shit starts to fall, right? It's opposed to just settling outside and you're attacking the cup, man. You're gonna get more opportunities and you're gonna see the ball go through the hoop, and you're gonna start to find yourself an offensive rhythm, and that's what AD did in the beginning of this game. So a lot of us have been employing AD to stop settling for Jays pretty much the entire season, and just utilize his length and size versus a 6'6" or 6'7" Paul Millsap. AD has 3 to 4 inches on him, plus he's much longer than Paul Millsap is. So AD already had 12 points to begin the game, cooking it on Paul Millsap and Jeremy Grant, whoever the Denver Nuggets threw at him. It didn't matter in the beginning of this game. And throughout the game, particularly in the beginning. And then Dwight Howard started. About time, man. He started. It only took Vogel to the Western Conference Finals to figure this out, man. We should have took place 20 or so games into the regular season. But he had 4 offensive rebounds, showing the physicality inside as the Nuggets couldn't contain him. Dwight is the only true bruiser on this team, Laker fam, that can command so much attention in the inside and pretty much be a problem down low. They can't really contain him down low because of his activity. He's really great at using the swim move when players try to box him out. It's a fundamental move. It's a legal move. And plus he has the strength and core strength as well in the legs to get past most defenders because he's just so strong. So Dwight Howard's best, asset to this team and his physicality and his ability to, get offensive rebounds and get fouls. But he had 8 points, 8 rebounds, just an instant impact. Once again, man, Vogel, please do not, whatever you do, start JaVale McGee going forward. It's pretty obvious that Dwight Howard should start the entire playoffs, no question. It's not rocket science. It's been a long time coming. So hopefully he continues to start Dwight Howard going forward. I swear, if Vogel starts McGee, man, after Dwight's great start this game and immediate impact, he's smoking rocks, fam. Somebody got to check him. Lakers team physicians, whatever, they got to check this dude, because there's no way that Dwight Howard should not start from here on out. But I thought the Lakers D was decent at best. But again, they were switching on pick and roll, which allowed Jamal Murray to feast inside and out and find players on the cut when the D collapsed onto him. I liked how Lakers played some zone, but they gotta axe that bullshit switching, man, on the pick and roll. And it has not been a successful defense. It hasn't been a successful defensive schematic for the Lakers. So I don't know why the coaching staff continues to use that. Murray had 12 points and Nuggets shot 65%, way too much for the Lakers, man. They got to hold the Nuggets to about 40s to under 50% in terms of shooting from the field in order to, not give them any confidence. They got to crush them, man, on that end. They cannot allow them to shoot that great. But AD with 14 points came in, like I said, assertive. And, I issued a challenge to him last game for just his bad effort on the rebound aspect, which, he pretty much only got 5 rebounds. But the point is, he imposes will this game. That's the difference. Yes, you can get the points that you get, but it's how you go about doing that. And AD made himself available to step up to that challenge and performed well. So props to him. Like I said, I keep things objective on this YouTube channel, and I call people out with substance. I don't just call them out to bitch and be a loudmouth or whatever. But all the criticism I give is constructive. It's not to go at people personally, but it's just like in the hood, man. When we play in the playgrounds, cats going at one another. They're gonna say things that are quote unquote personal or whatever to try to get in people's heads or whatever. But in the aspect, it's just trying to challenge people to make sure to see if they're if they're the real person, if they're a real person, to step up to the plate and meet that challenge and meet that level. So that's what AD did. So props to him, and that's what I do, man. It's just a quote unquote hood mentality. Is nothing personal, and brothers, or people who are from the hood, and had a trash talk happen to them on the court or whatever, they understand where I'm coming from. So. Anyway, AD stepped up to the challenge, man. They both got outplayed in terms of energy and imposing their will from Grant last game, but they came out and delivered this game. Particularly AD played with some balls, so good shit. Good response from him in terms of last game's let up. Lakers by 7 going into the second quarter, 37-30. And I thought Dwight Howard did a great job overall this game, particularly limiting Joker to only one field goal. So that just goes to show that Dwight Howard's impact is evident. The Lakers were killing the Nuggets on single coverage on Anthony Davis. Longtime subscriber, Eastra3, I believe. Hopefully I didn't foobar that name. The brother and I talk a lot of hoops and detail. We were talking about unless the Lakers kill on single coverage, then the Lakers are not gonna thrive offensively. In terms of role players, hitting shots, to expecting them to hit shots and be the main ones to provide that offensive punch is not something that obviously is going to be fruitful for the Lakers mostly. So it's important for AD and LeBron James to assert, or impose rather their will in this game as they did, especially AD. But that's what they did. They killed single coverage with Anthony Davis, and that's what opened things up for KCP, etc., and the other role players. And the Lakers go up 12 at the 9+ minute mark on a Kuz layup off of a cut. Kuzma up to this point has been similar in terms of forcing the issue on the offensive end, rushing like Michael Porter Jr. And then settling for 3-point shots. He's got to let the game come to him and not just settle for threes. But Lakers go up 44-32 at this point in the game. He moves well without the ball. Focus on the little things and play with energy, effort, defend, rebound, and good things will happen. But thus far, man, in the playoffs, he hasn't played as well. But I'm sure Kuz will find his groove. He just has to not focus on trying to score and force the issue. And just worry about the little things, because the little things do matter. But Lakers' main issue in the second quarter is that they weren't stopping the ball in transition, which allowed Murray to get to the rim. First rule of defense is to stop the ball. And Lakers have to do a better job at stopping the ball. Jamal Murray had a hell of a layup, man. Jordan-esque. The brother can get buckets, no question, man. Obviously, I'm not fond of him. It is what it is, but that's irrelevant. Of course, like I said, from the D'Lo, Rondo days with Brandon Ingram, etc. Or not D'Lo days, or rather, but from D'Lo days, I think he did something silly, and then with Lonzo Ball as well. Stealing the ball towards the end of the game, or dribbling the ball in between his legs rather, and then Rondo checked him. So, from that moment on, it's been bad blood for me, because I thought that was a chump move. So it was going to be very, very sweet to beat Jamal Murray and the Nuggets in this series, man, to advance to the finals. But anyway, LBJ at times over dribbling on the Nuggets, switching on him, pretty much over dribbling this entire game, man. And again in the clutch, which I'll get to later, but daring him to shoot. And beat them off, or beat them on the jump shot on the perimeter. LBJ has to take that opportunity, Lakers, for him to score, or the Lakers need to run sets for AD or shooters on the floor, because it's predictable and poor offense when LBJ is dribbling out the shot clock, man, and he's trying to find an opening in the seams of the cracks of the Nuggets defense to attack, but he's mostly good at attacking the cup and getting to the rim in transition, because the Nuggets, they already know what he wants to do. So he's looking for something that's not there in terms of trying to find the Nuggets not inside, waiting for him. They're loaded on one side, the side that LBJ wants to drive. So LBJ has to adjust, and he hasn't adjusted since, game 3. So the Nuggets are not going anywhere. They're going to be there. And so LeBron James has to get his ass in the post pretty much, or he has to get his points mostly exclusively off the ball, or in terms of the inside or in transition. But Kuz found his groove in the second, in the middle of the quarter or so. LBJ finding him on Michael Porter Jr. not rotating properly on pick and roll. I seen LBJ tell Kuzma during a timeout how to hold the screen and then when to roll when Michael Porter Jr. rather overcommits on LBJ in the pick and roll defense, on the dribble and then to slip the screen. So that was nice recognition by LBJ. Things like that, moving body, moving the ball, getting into faster offense. That's definitely something that LBJ needs to improve on, especially down the stretch, man. And that's why Rondo needs to command the ball from him, along with AD, along with Frank Vogel. They cannot allow LeBron James to dribble out the shot clock multiple possessions, man. It's going to hurt the Lakers, and it has thus far. Fortunately enough, it hasn't to the point where they lost a lot of games, but they lost some games on. But Nuggets made a small run due to Jamal Murray scoring his scoring punch, as well as Jeremy Grant. However, the Lakers were able to sustain that run, and mostly due to the activity of Dwight Howard's offensive rebounding, which I believe the Lakers had 10 more attempts offensively than the Nuggets due to the Lakers' offensive rebounding and the activity of Dwight Howard. Lakers up by 5, 60-55. AD with 19 points, LBJ 14 points, Dwight Howard with 11 points, Kyle Kuzma with 10 points, Murray with 16 points to lead the Nuggets, Joker and Jeremy Grant with 10 points apiece going into the second half. Lakers have to do a better job defensively, allowing the Nuggets, just allowing the Nuggets to shoot 59% from the field, man. Just not good defense, But nonetheless, the Lakers won this game. They just have to tighten it up on the defensive end so that the Nuggets don't have the offensive confidence or confidence overall to win versus the Lakers in this series. I like that AD was assertive offensively, as he was, the main option on the offensive end. And the Lakers were able to control the pace by going through him. However, I didn't like that, he didn't have any boards to end the first half. I want to see him, be active on the glass, draw fouls, things of that nature, by forcing Nugget defenders, whether it's Millsap or Jokic, to, try to keep him off the boards. But his offense isn't always going to be there, so it's important to, have activities such as crashing the glass. But Lakers' second chance points, I believe 18 to Denver's 2 points. So that was pretty much the key difference the entire game, but certainly in the first half. But going into the second half, third quarter, Lakers start off well from three-point land, 1 from AD, 1 from KCP, and 1 for Danny Green in transition. I like how LBJ finds Danny Green in transition. That's another thing he does well, actually. Again, I've mentioned this before. Guys like him, Kuzma, Quinn Cook, they're rhythm players, so they score off a rhythm as opposed to just standing in the corner waiting for the defense to collapse on LBJ or AD for an open jump shot. So that's why guys like Danny Green are more successful off of movement, and KCP too as well. But he's been the most consistent shooter, so props to him. But Rondo coming in with a nice push. And great impact overall this game, man. Definitely an unsung hero with passing and scoring. Fighting the Nuggets mini run late in the third quarter. Rondo with 5 points and a couple of assists to start when he was subbed in. Love when Rajon Rondo pushes the pace, man, and looks to dribble with a purpose as opposed to dribbling out the shot clock when it's winding down and then trying to, force other players to create offense when they're not, adept at creating offense. Even if it's AD, man, it's just, it's putting him in a bunch and taking him out of rhythm. So that's what LeBron James has to improve on overall as the series goes on. And then, of course, against the Miami Heat or the Celtics, whoever wins that series, likely Miami Heat, he has to improve greatly in the aspect of not taking his teammates out of rhythm, creating faster offense, and getting his ass in the post. Good shit by Rondo as the Lakers go up 11, 82-71. At that time, I thought the game was going to take off for the Lakers, man, at the mid 3-minute mark in this game. But, of course, it's the Lakers. So they always make shit interesting and harder for themselves. But a longtime Twitter follower of mine, James Delgado, hit me up, saying, by the way, quote, by the way, I've been meaning to give you your props on your boy Rondo. You never got too down on him. You always knew playoff Rondo was in there somewhere. Brother, first off, he's not my boy. I don't adhere to fanboy shit or fanboyism. As a grown-ass man, I appreciate cats for their craft and, what they do. And with Rondo, being I played point guard all my life and at a high level, the vast majority of my life, I understand Rondo's value and his impact overall. So it's far more important than shit like points per game, plus minus bullshit and analytics and all that stuff. So this isn't something new to me. I just see the game differently than most. I also constructively criticize Rajon Rondo as well. He's not exempt. No one is on his team. That's my job as a student of the game who observes in totality on what the Lakers can, do better or what they need to get better on. So details, intricacies, and nuance is what I focus on. But Lakers not holding Michael Porter Jr. from three as Kuzma was falling for pump fakes. You heard Reggie Miller, who, by the way, they need to take the brother off of air, man. His fanboyism and his biasness comes out. It's kind of annoying, man. But same thing with C-Web. They get annoying as well. I wish we had Kevin Harlan calling the game, but it is what it is. But Kuzma was falling for pump fakes at the three-point line. Porter Jr. helps the Nuggets overcome an 11-point deficit going into the fourth quarter, down 3 for the Nuggets. And Lakers had to lead 87-84. I thought the Lakers' energy slipped a bit with Dwight Howard being off the floor as Michael Porter Jr. started to hit his shots. I don't know why Vogel subbed him out to go small, but it is what it is. The Lakers were dominating on the boards, and he should have kept Dwight Howard in, particularly down the stretch. But fourth quarter, Bron drawing out a lot of shot clock, man, to take bullshit threes. Joker had 4 fouls, Laker fam, and AD picked up his 5th at the 8-minute mark. It's not that hard to figure out. Get AD the fucking ball, let him go to work on the Joker or Paul Millsap. Bron making shit harder than what it needs to be, Laker fam. So, Vogel, Rondo, like I mentioned earlier, they need to stand up to him like Rouse did and Coach Spo did in his second year, making LeBron James go to the post and not, fucking around on the perimeter, getting the ball out of his hands. A lot of his decisions on the perimeter have hurt the Lakers when it counts the most, man. It has hurt them. Talk about Rajon Rondo, man, down the stretch with timely plays, scoring the ball and assisting. However, although LBJ was not so wise offensively in controlling the ball or dictating the offense, he did a good job on the defensive end against Jamal Murray. I love that he took the challenge, man, to defend the best player. That's some mama shit right there. So props to LeBron James. You got to impact the game on other aspects of the floor. If you're not doing well offensively or dictating the offense, you have to provide some impact. And again, I may be use constructive criticism on one end, but if players do well, no matter what, I'm going to point out the good. And so props to LeBron James, man. Got 3 straight stops when it counted, and the Lakers were able to score and then, win this game on free throws down the stretch. But I'm not sure why Dwight Howard didn't get any tick down the stretch, man, as the Lakers dominated, like I said, on the boards. I thought Vogel was tripping on that aspect, going small with 3 guards down the stretch. He was huge this game. KCP as well with Rajon Rondo, 3 unsung heroes this game. I know Keith, obviously, he offers floor spacing, things of that nature, but not as dominant inside like Dwight Howard, and AD was cooking. So I didn't see a need for the Lakers to have Markieff Morris down the stretch and then a 3-guard rotation. So we needed an inside force, in my opinion, but nonetheless, Lakers got stops when it counted. Thanks to LeBron James as well, with his good defense on Jamal Murray. Got away probably with a foul, but the Nuggets been getting away with a lot of fouls and hacking LeBron James pretty much a good amount of the series. It is what it is. But it counted. He got stops when it counted and won this game. The Lakers overall scoring offensively as well with LeBron James good defense down the stretch. Clutch defense from LeBron James, man. That's what you do as the leader of this team. You take on any challenge. So. Let's get to the player stats and the team stats. Lakers 28 for 35 from the free throw line. I liked how they attacked this game. A key distinction from last game. Not settling for a lot of jump shots this game. Attacking in cup. Getting in the inside. Lakers also 41 to 33 on the glass and 12 offensive rebounds to 6 for the Lakers versus the Nuggets on the offensive boards. Great job by the Lakers on the glass this game. Great job. Lakers win the glass, or if they win the glass battle with the Nuggets, they're going to win the series likely. Also, the Lakers only had 11 turnovers. Drastic improvement for the Lakers not being in the 20s or so in terms of turnovers. And 17 fast break points where the Lakers are best at. So good job for the Lakers taking care of the rock this game versus the Nuggets. And then player stats, Anthony Davis, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Great assertiveness by Anthony Davis to start this game. However, I need the brother to get at least 10 boards at the very least. Also, I need AD to command the ball when LBJ is dribbling out the shot clock in the clutch moments of any game. There's no way that he should not get touches down the stretch, man, or barely any touches as he did. But fortunately, Rajon Rondo was able to, provide a scoring punch as well as KCP did in a timely manner. But LBJ, 26 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. The adjustment for LeBron James needs to be, he needs to play more in the post, whereas, not to dribble out the shot clock and exert so much energy on the perimeter and work further away from the basket, man. He needs to get in the post, dump the ball down to AD, things of that nature, move the ball more. I would just pass coming down and go down to the opposite block. Have Dwight or whoever, the other big, if AD's not the 5, clear out. So if they collapse on them, then run some sets, whether it's motion offense to get the down screen or Princeton, whatever. Iverson cuts, things of that nature. They did a good job doing that. Getting Marquis for Kuzma on the floaters, KCP, coming from strong side to weak side on the defensive end for the Nuggets. So they did a good job. They need to utilize those type of plays on off the ball. But that's why I want to see LeBron James improve on, man. 4 other guys also in double digits. Nice supporting cast for AD and LeBron James this game against the Nuggets. KCP with 13 points. Dwight Howard with 12 and 11 rebounds. Rondo with 11 points, 7 assists, and Kyle Kuzma with 10 points. All right, Laker fam, great response by the Lakers from Game 3, led down to Game 4, winning on the boards and playing with better energy. Game 5 Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, or Standard Time. Lakers just need to keep their foot on the gas pedal, man, and defend at a high level, control the boards, and stop switching on pick and roll. Keep the mentality to get to the finals and win that chip, man. The Lakers cannot let up and give Denver any confidence come Game 5. They have to close. So, anyway, comment, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next game recap on Saturday. Peace out, Laker Nation.